Actually, a giant surprise at the end of the new laser update video.
This is a conversation between a mapper and Spaceman Atlas.
What the?
Main laser developers, and yeah, the editor has problems.
What the?
What? So much editor stuff this update.
In his words, someone pissed him off on Reddit because they said that he doesn't care about the editor.
So let's walk through Spaceman's frustration-fueled journey to make the editor not suck.
Chat, another mapping video by Pishy. Let's go.
Timeline toggles are now moved to the editor menu, and that's just opened up more space to use for the timeline itself, and also allows us to compact it down a bit. We're trying to make people feel like the editor isn't claustrophobic, giving more space to the playfield.
And that ties into this change. The rest of the UI has lower opacity. It's semi-transparent, letting you see stuff that's actually important while mapping.
Oh shit.
Did you want me to talk about the opacity change, or?
Oh, if you have something to say about it, yeah.
I really don't. I think it's cool though.
Somehow break sections weren't a thing in the editor until today. If a gap between two notes is some arbitrary length, a break is now automatically added, and it's adjustable with these little tabs.
People call the editor unusable. This is probably one of the things that's like, yep, we can agree that it is unusable because you have to bring the map back into stable to get any kind of break time.
I mean, it was worse to add objects to like an empty part of a map because it just wouldn't know what to do with it.
Oh yeah, no, that's fixed.
These white after images have been a pain point for mappers since the day they were added. To quote myself 2 years ago, I think they should be the same size as the original hit circles because the expansion effect messes up spacing interpretation. Like, they're not overlapping, but then the white thing makes them look like they are overlapping. It's confusing. Apparently this was intended because old skins aren't sized correctly. Laser's new skins have slightly larger circles because that's the actual clickable area. Meanwhile, the old default skin and every skin based on that are slightly smaller than the clickable area.
Oh, what
Overall,
the
this
heck?
made mapping with any skin other than the laser default ones really uncomfortable. This change to hit animations completely fixes that. And it also lets you see numbers more clearly, and it gives much less prominence to slider ends, and it's basically what stable already has, which is really good in this case.
W.
These changes so far have been Spaceman's work, but he also finalized some important editor changes from other developers. Like this, you can now press Ctrl-Z to undo slider anchor changes. And there
Fucking
are 3
finally?
changes by Alabombi. One adds the scale pop-up from stable, pretty self-explanatory I think, and it automatically selects the text box for this and the rotate pop-up. This lets people actually use muscle memory for efficient mapping. The second change makes proper hit sounding possible. You can select different points on sliders and adjust hit sounds accordingly, whereas before you could only select the whole slider.
And yes, the bank name will eventually be some kind of drop down. Right now you just have to type them out manually.
Bank name.
It's been pending for like over a year.
Yeah, I mean, I've apologized to Ollie Bombi like 3 or 4 times over the last half a year because he's had a lot of these changes waiting for our review, and because they're like 1,000 plus lines of code changed each time, it's very hard for us to get through them. And I was hoping to get to those myself, but Spaceman fortunately beat me.
Oh my god.
The Bombi change is actually something completely new, grid customization.
Huh?
And you can change the spacing of the grid, the offset of the grid, and the rotation. So you can do some pretty cool stuff with it that was not possible until now.
Holy
Considering
fuck!
how many maps design stuff around slightly angled straight sliders and offset symmetry, this is a game-changing feature. And this is only the first step for Alabombi's editor grid plans. We'll talk about everything else when it's time.
Download mapping
The
tools.
Mania editor got some appreciation this update too. You can use Ctrl-H to horizontally flip objects. You can click and drag to change object lengths, which was previously only possible in the timeline. You can see how annoying that would be. And you can finally change key counts.
Previously, you would have to change the key count and then exit the editor and come back in. It still kind of does that, but it's done for you.
And I think that's everything that really matters for the editor. Until next update, where more changes are already lined up. Good luck satisfying everyone, Spaceman.
Oh my god.
Basically, every developer meeting we've had, I have brought up the fact that we really need to get to the editor changes that people need. And the only reason we haven't is because time restrictions. It's very easy as a mapper to be like, you guys are doing a shit job when we are spending like all the time addressing players' needs. As we've discussed in a long laser video, there's so many facets to the OS community that it makes it very hard to give every single person what they want or what they need. I guess one important thing to take from all of this Most of the issues that people had have been fixed within a week or two. We should have made this happen earlier in terms of priority.
What am I watching? What is this?
The traceable mod is kind of ridiculous, but you might see more people trying it out now that it rewards PP.
Huh?
Now it has the same PP multiplier as hidden, but that's just like a safe testing value. According to the people who handle PP balancing, this is expected to change once people start setting scores with the mod. So, good luck. Speaking of weird mods,
The Magnetize, the Repel, and the Depth mod used to hide judgments completely because we didn't have a good way of making the judgments kind of stay in the right place on the screen. Someone managed to figure that out.
God, this
so
is
now we do
terrible.
have
This is giving me
judgments
motion
displayed,
sickness,
and
bro.
it makes all three mods feel a lot better in my opinion.
for autopilot, this countdown now exists. And Taiko has two new mods, Relax, which lets you click notes regardless of color, and Constant Speed, which I probably don't need to explain. Moving on to more normal gameplay stuff, Laser has this built-in playfield border, but it didn't work how you might expect. It was based on the center location of objects, so an object could be here, halfway outside the border. Now the border expands depending on circle size.
Oh my
Smaller
God.
circles have a smaller border, bigger circles, bigger border. And there's also this new rank display skin element. The legacy one will copy from your current skin, or the old default skin, while the new one is this. And if you're an ancient Osu player, this changes for you.
Storyboards finally have the pass and fail layers working, so depending on your current performance in gameplay, it will switch the storyboard between the layers. I think until now it was just stuck on the pass layer.
Okay, but what map does this besides Don't Stop Me Now?
I don't know.
This is probably the biggest quality of life changes update. You can now use control up and down arrow keys to adjust speed mods. This picks whatever speed mod you most recently used, so if you're an Nightcore player, Laser enables your problems. That's more or less everything for the changelog, but there is one more thing to address. Daily Challenge.
Oh.
That's the official name for the beat map of the day concept we talked about last video. It's not here in this update, but a lot of the prerequisite changes are part of today's changelog. As for when you'll actually see these in-game, is Daily Challenge like guaranteed for next release?
I think it would be guaranteed, yeah. Everything that needs to be there for the code side is there. Maybe a few visual touch-ups will happen. The main thing we're waiting for is how we display this on user profiles. I'm kind of excited. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna actually bring myself to play us every day.
Holy shit! No
Are you
way!
nervous?
I'm not nervous. I'm just disappointed in my own effort already.
Wait, that's huge! The daily challenges are coming out in the next laser update? No way, dude. Chat, it's time to introduce the Osu Battle Pass along with it, alright? So that way every Osu daily challenge you complete, you can get Osu EXP to go to your Osu Battle Pass. And you might as well start introducing Osu Wishes, where you can start pulling for Osu skins, okay? You already have the free skins that no one cares about. Now get the premium Osu skins. And go ahead and introduce a paid currency as well, the Osu coins. Oh my god.